COVID-19 in 2022 just gets dumber and dumber. Now, I know a lot of you guys are in places where COVID has effectively been over for a year plus 2 years, but a lot of these places, like if you live in a big blue city like Seattle, there are still people wearing masks outside in their car. They are terrified of COVID-19. It is a completely different world than what the rest of us are experiencing it. And it's wild. It's completely ridiculous. So I feel like I have to qualify this video by saying that I was originally a huge proponent of 2 weeks to slow the spread. I was super in favor of that. I feel like most people were in favor of the original lockdown and the original goal of those lockdowns, which was, hey, we're all gonna get COVID. We just need to make sure we all don't get it at once and overwhelm the hospitals. Most people were pretty on board for that. Better safe than sorry. Let's not all get it all at once. That made sense. But the goalposts have just shifted and shifted and shifted to this complete perversion of the original intention of doing the lockdowns in the first place. And it became this thing to where now we just know I don't want to get COVID ever. I'm never, ever, ever going to get it ever. And that's, believe it or not, has been proven to be unrealistic. And now the CDC finally agrees. The CDC has essentially come out and said COVID is basically over. New CDC guidelines. I'm going to read them to you right now. If you get COVID, don't even bother quarantining. That's right. If you test positive for COVID, don't even bother quarantining. That's crazy. Unvaccinated people. If you're unvaccinated, do the exact same things that all of the vaccinated people are doing. This is what the CDC says. Unvaccinated people follow the exact same guidelines as vaccinated people. There's no difference. It's almost like there was no point to any of it. Next up, students. If you are exposed to COVID-19, stay in class. Yep, like we're over. It's done. Like the CDC has flat out just said it's over. Social distancing, staying 6 feet apart. CDC, don't bother. Just don't even bother. Literally everything they said to do, they're just like, nah. Turns out, no. And what's so funny is that this is shit that people have been saying the entire time because it honestly just didn't pass the sniff tests. A year ago, the CDC came out and said that the masks, those cloth masks, I know this is gonna shock everyone, but it turns out those didn't really do much. Who would have thought that the cloth masks didn't do much? Who would have thought that walking to your table with your mask on and then taking it off when you sit down didn't do much? I mean, wow. And I'm not somebody that's against wearing masks for safety reasons. I used to wear a mask all the time. I was a welder, welded a lot of aluminum, galvanized stuff, shit that you don't want to breathe in. Used to wear one of these a lot. This mask, this works. Did I wear this to the grocery store? No, because I'm not fucking retarded. That's why I didn't wear this to the grocery store. But I wear this when I don't want to breathe in things that are dangerous because it works. And anybody that's been fitted up for one of these knows that it's a seal. It seals to your face. Who'd have thought the cloth masks didn't do anything? So stupid. What a fucking waste of time. So who cares, right? Wearing the masks were pointless. Better safe than sorry, right? Well, no, not really, because we have a bunch of kids now that can't read social cues because they grew up in their formative years where you're supposed to be, seeing people's facial cues and social interactions via body language. Can't do that now because they've just grown up in this weird bandito society and they just aren't socially at the level they should be, and they have become almost dependent on these like masks as a security blanket. Like they feel safe in their mask. That's why you see like kids running around outside with masks on. It's crazy. It's like they feel safe in it. And then we have studies coming out that are saying that the masks not only didn't help, but are actually unsafe because many of the studies that have done oxygen tests and CO2 tests with these masks, they use a new mask, right? You put the new mask on the machine and, it's not inhibiting your breathing at all. These are myths. Well, here's the thing. Put that mask on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Get some moisture in that mask. Now there's new studies coming out saying, oh, fuck. When these kids wear their masks all day and they're sweating and talking and breathing heavy, or even if you're just a cashier and that thing fills up with moisture, it really inhibits your breathing. And everyone knows this because obviously anybody that's worn a mask for a while knows, like, after a while you're like, God damn, this is fucking tough. You know, people are getting headaches, and none of this passes the smell test, and it's just was obvious to everybody from the beginning. And again, I go back to the welding respirator. These filters, when they fill up full of shit, it gets hard to breathe. It sucks. You take this thing off anytime you don't have to wear this, you don't, because your body is telling you, get this thing off of me. It sucks. There's a reason why your body's telling you that. I'm not somebody that's entirely against people wearing masks. If you are somebody that is genuinely immunocompromised, if you're wearing it for your own personal safety because you have some weird thing with you, or you are sick and you, out of the kindness to other people, don't want to give your sickness to everyone else, that makes sense. But that is a minority of the population, and forcing everyone to live in a bandito society for the minority of people is wild. It's just not realistic, and honestly, it doesn't even help. Now let's move on to the vaccine. The vaccines, the booster, the second booster, the third booster, they never end. Oh boy. So how do I view the vaccines? Well, I haven't gotten the vaccine, any of them, not one of them, not because I'm afraid of them, not because I think they're dangerous, not because I'm never ever gonna get one ever. I just honestly think it's a bit of a racket from the medical community. I view them the same way I view flu shots, where it's just this thing that, of course, pharma wants you to get a booster because they make money on it. They want that sweet government money, and it's just not really gonna help you. There are so many other things you can do to safeguard yourself against COVID. Diet, exercise, getting sleep, like the things that actually work, right? So I didn't get one. I'm not saying I'm never gonna get one. I'm not one of these people that's really a hardliner against it, but is there any point? Like, seriously, is there any point? Joe Biden, the most protected man on planet Earth, Joe Biden, that has access to the best medical care of anyone on planet Earth, got all of the vaccines, all of the boosters, and then got COVID. Fine. Then he got COVID again. Dude, what is the point? If he, the most protected man on Earth with the greatest healthcare known to man, can't avoid COVID, what are we doing? What are we doing? What is the point? Now we arrive to TwitchCon 2022, which was originally going to be a convention that was normal, like they used to be. No masks, no proof of vaccination, you know, just a normal human experience like we used to have back in the day 5 years ago. And nope, can't have that. Vocal minority complained, and now you gotta have 2 COVID vaccinations and the masks are enforced. Great. Isn't that, aren't you just so excited? Is this gonna help anyone? This is legitimately going against the CDC's own guidelines at this point. And if you're immunocompromised, why are you going to a convention of people that don't take showers? This is not even the biggest health concern at TwitchCon. The hygiene of the place is a bigger concern than any sort of COVID regulations. The stupidest thing is that this isn't gonna do anything. People are still gonna go to TwitchCon and they're going to get sick. They are going to get sick, but not because of COVID, not because of any of this other shit, but because it's a convention. People go to these conventions, they stay up late, they're eating hot dogs and nachos, they drink excessively, then they go to bed and they get 2 hours of sleep and they do it again and they do it again. And when you redline your body like that, you are just opening the floodgates up to anything. And that's why people get sick. That's why people have been getting sick at BlizzCon every time. It's the con flu. It's been something that's been going on for a very long time. If Twitch genuinely cared about the public safety of this event, they would be serving health food and they'd put out a notice saying, hey guys, we know you're all here to have fun, but please try and get some sleep. Like, seriously, that would be infinitely more effective than all of this theater. That's all this is just theater. Safety theater. And this applies to the general population too. We had all of this talk during COVID of the vaccines and the masks and the social distancing and all this stuff that, quite frankly, doesn't work. People said from the start this isn't gonna work. Turns out the CDC finally has agreed with all the conspiracy theorists from the beginning. The CDC has come around and they were right. But no, there was no push to, hey guys, lose some weight, eat a little healthier, get some sleep, like literally do nothing. The best advice to not get sick is to literally do nothing. Go lay in bed and get some sleep. That's the best thing you can do. It's crazy.